First alert team coverage this morning. Drew Andre is live in the Des Moines area, just one of many communities dealing with downed trees and power lines. But first, let's check in with Savannah Welch. She's in Tacoma right now, where a tree fell on top of a home. Savannah?
Good morning, Jake and Mimi. Yeah, these winds have been very strong. We've seen some pretty strong gusts while we've been here, and they've been taking down power lines and trees, just like the one here behind me. This fell on a home overnight. I just talked to Tacoma Fire. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Everyone that was inside when this tree came down was able to get out, but you can see the damage it did to the front of the house when it fell. The tree itself is on the other side of these two trucks. So let's show you what it looked like earlier when we view of it. It's huge. It's about 80 to 100 feet tall. Just shows you the strength of these wind gusts and the wind itself. When it came down, it also struck a gas meter. I talked to PSE earlier. They said they shut off the gas earlier this morning and we're waiting for crews to arrive to come and take care of this tree. There have been several crews that have shown up even in the last few minutes since we've gotten here, so it looks like they're just continuing to assess the damage, and maybe it might start sectioning off this tree because you can see just how large it is. Back out here live, this street, South 82nd Street, is blocked off for safety. Again, very gusty, upwards of 40, 50 mile an hour winds. So far we've seen here in Tacoma. So gusty conditions, and it's still, some areas are still wet as well from the last couple rounds of rain. So pretty significant heavy weather that we're seeing down here in Tacoma. I'll go ahead and send it back to you, Jake and Mimi, reporting here in Tacoma. I'm Savannah Welch, King 5 News.
Yeah, where the wind is still howling. Thank you, Savannah. Let's get it to Drew Andre now, who is to the north in Des Moines. Also more trees down. Drew, what are you seeing?
Well, Jake, we're here on Kent-Des Moines Road right now, and behind us there is a tree that splintered off in a few different places right on the top of some power lines here. So right now, this road here, the westbound lanes of Kent-Des Moines Road from 10th Avenue to Marine View Drive is closed. It is pretty light around here, but according to the PSE outage map, there are around 200 customers that are without power currently right around this Des Moines area where we are right now. Thankfully, just the eastbound lanes here on this road are open. There is a crew that is here. So right now, no ETA on when things could open back up there, but you can see just a really large tree splintered off in 2 or 3 different places to fall onto power lines here. A similar story in many other places around the region right now as we track these power outages. Jake and Mimi will send it back to you.
And thanks very much, Drew. And we are tracking all of those power outages right now. There's about 380,000 people across the state who are in the dark right now. You're looking at the PSE outage map that gives you an idea of how widespread the outages are. If I zoom in, you can see a lot of these outages are up on Whidbey Island as well as down south in Tacoma. In fact, I just checked Snohomish County PUD. The outages there actually doubled from 30,000 to about 60,000 just in the last couple of hours. And what you can't see here on this map is Grays Harbor County. This is Grays Harbor PUD. There are about 45,000 customers there in Grays Harbor County, and about 22,000 of them are in the dark right now. Those power outages continue, and we'll keep you posted all throughout the morning.
Yeah, full cities in the dark right now. Incredible. Thanks, Meme. So also developing in Aberdeen, speaking of Grays Harbor County, local police report that a downtown building has partially collapsed in heavy winds. This is on East Wishka Street. Police say the building that partially collapsed is on the south side of the street between H and I Streets. Thankfully, no reports of any injuries. The left lane of the westbound Wishka Street and sidewalk are closed, we're told, until further notice. Once we see what's going on there, we'll pass that along. Also, evacuation orders are in place in parts of Pacific still this morning after an overnight levee breach along the White River. First responders went door to door early Tuesday, waking families up and telling them to get out now.
And I thought we were safe, but we looked out the door and water was coming up, so we left.
Several homes in Pacific are still threatened by the White River, which is expected to remain elevated for days. The mayor says families likely won't be able to return home until at least this weekend.
This morning, a level 2 get set evacuation is now in place along the Skagit River as it's poised to crest once again at moderate flood stage. Releases are ongoing at the Lower Baker Dam just up from concrete. Meantime, officials warned of a landslide on Lake Shannon Road. A King 5 photographer went to check it out but found that road impassable before reaching it. The ongoing threats in Skagit County prompted Washington Task Force 1, which is based in Pierce County, to pack up and head north to help.
It's really terrible to see what a natural disaster can do to people and large numbers of people. So it's really heartbreaking, but we always come at it with an attitude that we're going to come in and do the best we can to help.
And some good news, though. The Skagit is now expected to stay below major flood stage as it crests in Concrete and Mount Vernon. And Jake, we've been continuing to track the river levels.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on those throughout the duration for you families there. Rest assured, as we watch all the area rivers here in western Washington this morning, zeroing in on the Skagit near Concrete there. You can see this is obviously a little lower than what we saw as of right now last over the weekend, but it is expected to crest right back at where it was, you guys. So be very, very careful there along the Skagit. Further downriver in Mount Vernon, we're not going to hit that major flood stage, that all-time record at all, which was up here, but we are still expected to see about 30 feet in the next day or two, so elevated river levels there. Another quick glimpse here. I want to show you one of the reasons that we're watching the Green River near Auburn so closely. It is receding. We're seeing a little bit of an upward bump here, but here's the concern. It's going to stay elevated at minor flood stage for several days, continuing to put stress on that levee. Also near the White River, we'll have to get to that later, for some reason not responding, but it will also remain elevated, which is a big concern for those levees.
And you might have heard the wind howling at your house last night. We had strong gusts all around our region. Look at some of these numbers right now. The strongest was on Whidbey Island at 67 miles per hour. Hoquiam hit 58. SeaTac had a wind gust about 50. Everett and Tacoma both had wind gusts at 44. And the wind up in the mountains was also really strong at times. Thankfully, the winds have started to die down. Rich is tracking all of that this morning. I know some of the wind gusts up in the mountains, Rich. Wow.
Yeah, the most recent one, I think the power might have gotten out at Snoqualmie Pass. I say that because all the instrumentation up there suddenly quit working at 2 a.m. So something had happened, or we didn't pay the bill. One of those is in there somewhere. But we had a wind gust of 112 miles per hour at the top of Alpental. So actually, there's a tower on the top of Denny Mountain up above the actual chair top there at Alpental, and they saw 112 mile per hour gusts. It tends to be a little breezy up there, but those winds will be dying down. Wind gusts within the pass itself are probably running more like in the 40+ mile per hour range with that front moving through. It has moved to the east of it. It's left behind off and on showers. Are going to be with us through the day today in the lowlands. And up in the mountains, we're going to be seeing some pretty good snowfalls. We're looking at anywhere from about 5 to 10 inches of snow to fall up there, maybe even a little bit more around either Stevens or Snoqualmie, because we have that little bit of a convergence zone that's trying to form. And what we're also going to be seeing is the winter snowpack trying to form again. I think this time it might actually stick at this point. Overall, first little weather day again for today. Off and on showers around. You'll have some breaks. You'll see some sun breaks today too. Those gusty winds will gradually diminish during the course of the day. As you already heard, the flooding is continuing out. There were some of the rivers rising and the Skagit going back up to a moderate crest eventually here. And heavy mountain snow. So it's going to be a busy day up in the mountains as well. Take a look out this morning. All of our cameras bouncing around, as you can see, as we go to them, as those winds still gusty out there, but again, they are diminishing. See a Bellingham area looking for just a few showers mixed with sun breaks. Cooler today, mid-40s, and up and down Puget Sound, we're looking at those showers mixed in with sun breaks and highs in the mid to upper 40s. We are going to be looking for another round of rain in the lowlands and snow in the mountains as we head towards tomorrow. We'll check out that forecast next time around.
As you prepare to head out this morning, it is another first alert traffic day just because of still dealing with some of those flooding closures. And now we have new closures this morning because of downed trees. It is another day of having the northbound lanes closed here on Highway 167. This is out near 15th Street Southwest, so out in Auburn where the northbound traffic has to exit the highway. So that is because of that flooding. If you're traveling between Auburn and Kent and you've been doing so this week, you've already have been getting used to that. But one thing to keep in mind, I-5 is where we see a lot of the pressure for people trying to get around this, and we are already at 55 minutes from Tacoma to Seattle. You can see that congestion out between Federal Way and Kent. Speaking of closures, for those of you traveling out in Pierce County near Graham, we're dealing with a few closures on Highway 161 because of downed trees. So going southbound near 274th Street, you have some lanes blocked there. It's fully blocked actually in that area. And then just north of there, you have southbound lanes blocked near 224th Street. So something to watch out for those of you traveling out in that area. If you usually leave Renton using Maple Valley Highway northbound, you have one lane open because of a landslide. We know that crews will be monitoring this. A lot of people go this way to get on the 405, so I imagine we'll see a backup eventually this morning. Coming up in a few moments, we'll look at some of those other closures, and we will have a check of the drive times.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Hey, listen to the rain. It was really coming down in Muckleshoot, Auburn area last night. Thanks to our viewer who sent us this video. Obviously, we can't be everywhere, so help us tell the weather story. You can send us your photos and your video of the rain and the wind. You can text them to us at 206-448-4545.